Right. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, brother. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. May Allah's grace. How are you, brother?
Yeah, doing good. Everything is good.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So, Ustaz, this is a brief introduction of your workshop that is coming soon on accelerating the Arabic learning, inshallah. So, just for the benefit of our viewers, I would like to request you to introduce yourself a bit and tell us a little bit about your background with Arabic language and how you got into this journey.
All right, good. It's a pretty interesting story. To begin with, originally I'm a mechanical engineer, so that could
Okay.
be interesting for some people. So as a mechanical engineer, how did I get into Arabic language teaching, which is like it's almost unrelated.
Right.
So obviously, Muslims, whoever is interested in trying to get access to some Islamic knowledge, there is a natural tendency to learn Arabic. So that I also had the same tendency. Like many others, we had a group of students here in Saudi. So we started learning Arabic, like part-time, attending few classes.
Right.
And we did for a period of time. Even though it was not very successful, there was some small understanding. We developed a little bit in Arabic. And then at one point of time, we decided, okay, why don't we go and, do Afzal Ulama, I mean, to have some kind of like a qualification or something like that. And that probably could propel our Arabic. We said, okay, fine, let's do Afzal Ulama. And we did it. And still, of course, we are happy we did the degree. But personally, me, internally, I felt that my Arabic has not significantly, developed or progressed. And
Right.
then he said, okay, let's continue to do MA Arabic. We did MA Arabic. So happy we got the degree, but the Arabic again did not, it refuses to progress. I don't know
Right.
why. And then I felt internally that there is some gap in
Right.
things together.
Right.
So when I was thinking about it, I stumbled upon a course from a Canadian, scholar. It's called
Okay.
Sharia Program.
Mm-hmm.
Then they addressed all the gaps that I had, and
Right.
I was fascinated that why we were not able to learn this from the very
Mm-hmm.
beginning. I was spending 20-25 years, got across into
Right.
this kind of opportunity.
Right.
And that led me into more, research into what is called the linguistics, which is called fiqh
Right.
lugha, they call it.
Right.
And
Right.
linguistics also got me into a lot of fascinating things. So I'm trying to put them together. And then I
Right.
eventually, what came to my mind is that probably we should have learned the entire Arabic in a much more efficient and a totally different approach that could
Right.
have probably, would have led us into a significant progress in a very efficient way in Arabic, and why we did not do it. And so that led me
Right.
in this course, and I want other people also to get benefit from this experience. So that's basically
Right.
that.
So in a way, it's your journey with Arabic that has inspired you to plan this program.
Definitely, it's exactly my journey is actually my inspiration in a way.
Okay. Okay.
So my failures motivated me to protect other people from that failure, kind of.
Right.
So that's the reason why I also went into PhD right now. So my PhD
Right.
thesis, the topic is about methodology to teach Arabic efficiently, put it this way,
Right.
for
Right.
adult non-native speakers.
Right.
So whatever difficulty I faced as a non-madrasa student, want to learn Arabic to a really good extent, not
Right.
an average, not a mediocre goal. I mean, really to a top
Right.
goal.
Right.
So whatever the difficulty I faced and the solution for those difficulty is the culmination into this course, you can say. Put it
Okay.
this
Okay. Okay. So if I were to compartmentalize or identify your course offering between curriculum, syllabus, and pedagogy, where exactly would this course fit into more?
This is more of I try to call this course. I would like to look at the course in two different ways. It
Right.
could be a standalone course to develop Arabic and go forward.
Right.
Has all the you can say features and contents
Right.
are structured into it, or
Right.
it could be called as a glue course. When I say glue, whatever that means is people do different courses in different settings,
Right.
philosophy of approach, whatever. But they always feel if they are non-madrasa, I mean student coming from regular curriculum and getting into Arabic, trying to learn Arabic, they will find a lot of gaps. Please watch the word gaps. There is will have an internal sense that there is a lot of gap. Why I'm not able to really understand? I mean, that gap feeling will be there. But this course will act like a glue to fill the gap and make it like a monolith, so that you will have a like overall understanding of Arabic language enhanced, and you can grow. So this is so it can be a standalone approach, or it can overlay onto any other methodology and act like a glue to fill all the gaps and
so it's basically a binding force between components.
Kind of. If it is connect for other course, or it can be independently a method to to have an organic level of progress, but efficiently. That's the kind of.
So who exactly is your target audience for this workshop?
This particular workshop, when we talk about this workshop, we have strategized, or we planned this workshop in 2 days. Of course, there are two parties we have in mind. One is the students who want to learn Arabic, maybe beginners or advanced students. They want to excel in Arabic. This is one group of targeted audience, targeted participants. And the other group is obviously when you have a proper methodology, definitely we need people or teachers who employ this methodology and enhance their teaching efficiency. Okay, so I would like to address both of this community. The day one is basically for all of them, the potential students, advanced students, and also teachers, so as to understand the two students' perspective and some of the fundamental principles by which we structure our learning process in a natural sense, for example. And second day is more focused on people who are teaching community or very advanced students community, to how to look at the process of learning, teaching to enhance efficiency. I keep repeating the word efficiency because that is the crux of the point. I mean, you don't want to spend time inefficiently in learning or teaching. That's the bottom line.
So just give us a brief walkthrough over the overview of the 2-day workshop. What would you be handling on day one, and what would you be handling on day two? So if I were an eager person trying to register to this workshop, I would need a sort of an outline.
Okay, the way I would like to do it is, trying to understand the outline. The first principle is that we as a human being, we are naturally endowed with the capacity for language. This is a God-given gift. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies from Adam alayhi salam, this is our gift, and also to every human being. So this gift gives a significant capacity for pretty much any language. No language should be considered as something strange or difficult or alien to us. So our fundamental principle of approach is to come from this understanding that our natural language capacity should give us a lot of leverage in approaching any language in a very easy manner, without any feeling of alienation. Okay, so I would like to call it de-alienation of approaching any language. So one of the basic principles is to leverage this God-given ability, you can say almost like a fitra ability of language, so that you learn language as if you already know most of the principles. You will not learn it as if it is like something foreign, or it is like something new. You are not going to be shocked by every principle that you are going to learn from another language. You will feel as if like you know this in a way, and you are only understanding how it is done slightly differently. So this principle will give you a good mindset to approach the language with a significant level of positivity. Plus, you will start learning things as if they are very close to you already, and they are very much related to you, not like you're learning something new kind of thing. Can I give an example for it?
Yes, please.
But it's going to be a silly example, but maybe interesting example. Like, for example, if someone is living in India, we normally take breakfast, and in breakfast we take idli, dosa, these kind of things, for example. So if somebody comes to Saudi Arabia, I don't want them to be surprised that the Saudis also eat breakfast. I mean, there is nothing surprising about eating breakfast. We should expect that they also will be eating breakfast. But then what may be different is that maybe they are eating khubuz and I don't know, shashuka and whatever else it is, but may not be eating idli dosa. So that could be the variation, but eating breakfast as a concept is not surprising to you. So similarly, when we are trying to learn Arabic, there are a lot of things you should expect in the language, and none of those things should not be surprising to you because you are kind of, your language should have these kind of features innately. So, but unfortunately, many of the other courses, when people are learning, they even the basic thing like understanding or getting surprised that they eat breakfast is like a surprise. So people get that level of surprise, or they are being taught in that sense that it is new, everything is surprising. So they try to learn known things like unknown things. So what we want to focus in our structure is that you have to learn known things as known things. So that you will find significant ease. Lot of memorization will not be there. Naturally it progresses. Naturally you try to enter into the understanding of the language. Obviously there is hard work required. So this mindset setting and explaining how this works, this is going to be primarily day one, so that people will walk away with a sense of, look, if I have the right approach, I'm sure I will be able to develop. Now I have the sense of possibility of reaching my goal. I can see potentially light at the end of the tunnel, something like that. So it's more of a mentality plus the potential structure that shows you how this can be done with some examples and approaches and things like that. It's going to be a lot of interesting, lot of stories, a lot of mindset setting. Day two will be a kind of a quick walkthrough of how this can be accomplished, starting from some fundamental principles to reaching up to a little bit, higher end of language understanding, language structure understanding, maybe a little bit of introduction to even Balaga in a very simple way, not heavy Balaga, but basic level. They can understand, oh, this approach seems to be much more natural, more smooth, and it flows like in a natural way, so that you don't feel like you are studying some dry, for example, grammar topic, dry subject, and you are disconnected. You don't know what is applied here, kind of thing. No, it's all applied as naturally progresses. You understand when you learn something, why you have to learn this. So you even expect that, Ustad, I need you to teach me this the next class. You may even be asking that because it progresses, that kind of a natural sense. This is the idea, inshallah. So this is what is the class level 2. So level 2, when people will leave, they will have an understanding of, like, for example, okay, I can employ this kind of teaching methodology, or I can use this methodology to enhance myself, or probably I would like to join a course which really delivers whatever method taught in a structured way. So inshallah, we are planning also for a course. So then this is also like a motivator for people to enroll in the course once it happens.
So if I were to restate that in short manner, day one would be more of mapping of parallel concepts from a language that's already known to the people, or something that they use in the daily life. And day two would be more of application and implementation of that to further their level, or scale their progress.
To some extent, but we don't want to, for example, address it in a way that we are trying to do some kind of a comparative linguistics kind of thing. That is not the primary focus. It has a component of that as well, because the basic principles across different languages are kind of similar. Like, for example, if you are trying to understand the progression of grammar principles, you can have a simple sentence in any language. And the same simple sentence could be, told with a lot of features into a complex sentence. And one simple sentence probably covers 80% of grammar principle, for example. Then why you need to learn those principles, and why we learn? Should we learn grammar? Why we learn grammar? And how we learn grammar? Is it dry? Is going to be applied? It is contextual. It is conceptual. So these are all the principles that has been addressed more. Plus, we are trying to do what is called as the goal of learning Arabic, and do a Maharat mapping, I would say. Maharat is skills, which which is the
Right.
4 skills that we say, which is listening, speaking,
LSRW. Yeah.
reading and
Reading
writing.
and writing.
So
Yes.
we want to map the Maharat skill development with respect to the goal that we set. So we have a
Right.
goal, and are we mapping our the amount of teaching time that we are spending in a particular Maharat development? Is it really compatible? So
Right.
we will find ourselves quickly. There is not a incompatibility in the different approaches people have. So
Right.
incompatible effort is akin to something like inefficiency in a way. So
Right.
how do we address this? Obviously, at the end of the day, all 4 are important. But then how do you
Right.
prioritize? How you segment them, and where do you add more effort and efficiency so that you reach your goal more faster? So this all will be mapped, the mapping of goal against Maharat mapping, and
Right.
then setting the approach to reach
Right.
this.
Right. So, as a use case, do you have any success stories or positives from your previous experience?
Yeah, I do have actually a couple of years before I almost started some similar things. Maybe even that I tried to conduct some
Right.
workshops, things like that, even
Right.
with some teachers and students and whatever. So one of the first question they asked is, I mean, did you try it? That I could say, okay, I tried it on myself, for example.
Right.
But of course, that is not good enough. At that time, I was not teaching, and also in my research, I was more into the conceptual research at the early stage of that. Then I wanted to validate some of the
Mm-hmm.
principles that I have by teaching to actual students. So I
Right.
have 2 batches which I'm teaching right now.
Right.
Almost teached close to 60, 70 hours for first batch and 40, 50 hours for second batch.
Mm-hmm.
So with this level of teaching, the feedbacks that I have, because there are some students who already have gone through other methods of learning. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
are little bit new. So the feedback that I have from them is significantly encouraging, and they are seeing a lot of progress. I can even read for you maybe some feedbacks that we receive from the students.
Yeah.
So I would say it is reasonably a success story, and
Okay.
there are people who could certify to that. But obviously, I personally, if you ask myself, I want to have even much more significant success, inshallah, at the end of the course.
All
That
right.
only, then only I will accept to myself that it is a real success story.
All
So
right.
otherwise, from a general understanding, I'm really significantly motivated myself based on the feedback of success coming from students. So I would say that it's going towards success story. You would say that.
All right. All right. So, when you talk about the potential participants for this course, we find 3 different types of people. One who have come through the proper academic channel of doing a graduation in Arabic course, or Islamic studies, where academically they've learned Arabic as a subject. Number 2, there are people who have not done academic study in a proper course, but they have studied under someone. They have attended halqas, they've done some tuitions, coaching online and stuff like that. And then there are people who are people who have gathered things from here and there from the internet, stuff like that. Is there any differentiation that you see in terms of these 3, or because they pretty much come from the same pedagogical technique, the levels are pretty much the same?
Yes. Actually, not much different in the course. The point is, as I mentioned at the beginning, it can be a complete independently course which is standing on its own legs in a way, so to
Mm-hmm.
say,
Mm-hmm.
or it can act like a glue.
Mm-hmm.
So it can act like a glue, like then filling all the gaps and understanding if they really have something in their mind with the gaps.
All right.
If almost nothing they retain, then no gap to fill, then it's like a full course. If they
Right.
retain something in their mind and
Mm-hmm.
they are not able to connect, and they are strong in some bits, but they are confused with some bits. So if this is the case, then they will feel that this course is filling those gaps, and they feel much more smooth with their language.
All
They
right.
feel more engaged with their language. They will start understanding why the gap was there from the beginning. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
why I have the gap. I mean, I did not look at it this way.
All
So
right.
it either fills the gap, or it can be as an independent course even though the course could be something similar in terms of delivering the course. But depending on who receives it, if he had retained something with gaps, he will see his gap filling, inshallah.
Right.
And if somebody is not, remembering anything significantly, and they have some, faint memory of things, or many people may remember mudaf alayhi, for example, but not anything else. So for them, it's like a complete journey. They may start remembering bits and pieces. So it gels with both people. I mean, I would say that.
Right.
This is the way I'm thinking.
Right.
So we need to get feedback from the students as well,
Yeah.
But I have feedback from students, students.
Go ahead.
Both camp. I mean, some camp who really have gone through full course. I don't want to say which college even. Maybe you know them. They have gone through full course. They complete bachelors, and even sometimes doing masters, whatever. They have given us feedback saying that this methodology is significantly different, and makes learning Arabic much more easily approachable, and make them either understand or apply the language much more smoothly in a very easy way, without a lot of dry learning, or dry rote memorization kind of thing, or whatever, so that's the kind of feedback I have. So according to them, they feel out of the different methods they studied, they find this much more encouraging to them, which is a good feedback, inshallah. We are not trying to criticize any other method. I mean, everybody has a role to play. So we just want to make sure that people get benefit of filling the gaps, and moving forward. And they should reach their goal. I mean, this is the ultimate.
All right. So coming back to some generic questions on Arabic as a language, because you are doing your research, so I just wanted to throw this across as a generic question, nothing to do with this course, but just for the sake of understanding and knowledge. When you ask someone, if they have studied English or Tamil or Urdu or any other language, they would respond saying, yeah, I know grammar, I'm able to, read, write, all. So they answer in terms of skills. But why is it when we always ask this question to students who learn Arabic, they would come back and say, I complete Madina Book 1, I complete Durusul Lugha, I complete An-Nahw. So why is Arabic always measured in terms of the books that they complete rather than the skills they acquire?
Well, this is a very strange phenomena. This is something I question myself. Basically, the reason what happened is, for example, even from a madrasa system or any other system. Again, I'm not trying to criticize anybody here. If you ask them, they will say in the first year we studied, for example, one grammar book. Maybe I don't know, Sharawmiyat Amil, for example. Maybe next year they say Qatratun Nada. Maybe another year they study for maybe Hidayatun Nahu, for example. And maybe advanced, somebody say, Ibn Akil or Sharh Ibn Akil, for example, Alfiya, a lot of these things. But I then asked a simple question, critiquing of anybody. Yeah, as an engineering student, coming from like an academic, or you can say non-madrasa type of, secular education background, whatever that is called. For example, in engineering, as well, you did like IT, right?
Electronics communication.
Electronics, yeah. So we know that they have a syllabus. They try to map the syllabus. They say, well, these are all the topics we have to cover. So you need to have a level of familiarity and comfort in these topics. Right. And the reference books, you can refer to Qatratun Nada, you can refer to this, you can refer to Alfiya, refer whatever you want to refer. At the end of the day, did you understand the concept? They test that and they value and tell you, okay, the understanding is acceptable level of that. So I asked them, like, all these books to me are somehow grammar books, right? Okay, so why you are studying grammar book like every year as a grammar? Why you don't cover like this topic of grammar, that portion of grammar, this portion of grammar, and finish it, whatever book you study? Even some ustad might teach you even without book, as long as the principle is understood.
Correct.
But mostly people are not thinking in this direction. I mean, it was a little bit strange to them. I mean, why you are asking, this kind of questions? And also sometimes they say, did we read this book? Did you not read that kitab? So that's, I think it's a problem in approach or thinking. This is what I feel. I mean, I don't want to make too much comment on that. But when you come to the non-madrasa style, the popular, we have books like Durusul Lughat Al-Arabiyya 1, 2, 3, for example, and Al-Arabiyya Bayna Yadayk, popular. These are all the most two popular things, I think, in our area, mostly. So the point is, people are more interested in, I completed this book, that book, the other book. Fine. but what is the level of the skill that you have? Can we test the skill, or do we have a method to test the skill? Did you test yourself and satisfy yourself? So the people are not being told to look in that direction, or
Right.
they are also not looking in that direction. So I would probably put biggest responsibility on the teaching community more than the learning community. Even though the learning community, people like some of us may demand more, for example.
Right.
But most of the learning people, they believe whatever is taught is the right method.
Correct.
So whatever is the teaching faculty, or the community, whatever they are telling, people are kind of believing, so they keep on going through the book.
Sacrosanct.
Yeah. So after finishing the book, they say, okay, we finished. What happened? Khalas, finished. Okay, finished. But my Arabic is finished also. I mean, where is my Arabic? There's a lot of gap. So why it's not filled? Yeah, but this is the problem. I had an encounter with somebody very close to you. I don't want to say who it is. As I told them the issue with the book, they said, the problem with the teaching is that we don't have a structured teaching to ensure the skill development progressed up to a level of acceptable quality to test it properly. Like for example, I just give a simple example. For example, they use a book called An-Nahul Wadih. Okay, it's a good grammar book, but it's a good grammar book for native speakers, unfortunately. So it's not necessary. It was not a book designed for non-native speakers. I mean, the author, in the outset, he says in his Muqaddimah, it's for the students of Egypt, primarily, syllabus. So the point is, they come up with lots of examples with significantly different vocabulary, mostly not known to us. And they are also not religious vocabulary, I would say. Meaning, it's not talking about Iman, Islam, and at least we are familiar. It talks about some Harj, pulling some carriage, and whatever else it is. But probably the Arabic student, he already knows all this vocabulary, and it is nothing strange to him. But our students, they find all the vocabulary difficult. Okay?
Right.
And then when you test them with this difficult vocabulary. Right. And probably he did not answer it because he did not understand the vocabulary.
Right.
But you are trying to test grammar.
Right.
And he failed because he don't know the vocabulary.
Right.
Then we conclude he don't know grammar.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, see the conflict here. So if you test grammar, test the understanding of the grammar by making sure all the vocabulary, everything is either supplied or may work with the vocabulary known to him. Make sure the grammar is known. If you want to text context vocabulary, do another test. So conclude he don't know vocabulary or he don't know grammar. I mean, why not knowing vocabulary is equated to not knowing grammar in a way.
Correct. Right.
So this conflict, even when I had some discussion with people, they're not able to clearly distinguish the problem of this kind of misjudgment that happens because of the books that is also brought into syllabus. Like it is the syllabus book in some universities.
Right.
Unfortunately, this is not straight away a book designed for non-native speakers.
Right.
Non-native speakers. Okay, this is another topic anyway. I don't know whether native speaker, non-native speaker, they are two different, category of.
Correct.
They are not same. Native speaker learns grammar to understand the language he already mastered.
Right.
What is the principles behind that?
Right.
So he is learning a language just to understand what he already knows.
Right.
Okay. We try to learn grammar as a gateway to enter into Arabic itself.
Correct.
So it's
a different approach, right?
Totally different world, and the reason why we go to grammar is different. The reason why they go to grammar is different. It's all totally different.
So it's more like the top down and the bottom up approach, right?
Exactly, totally different. So they come, they know they are, even though they did not even study, for example, Nahul Wadih, for example, in Egypt, they know the language. Right. Even with grammar, like we know our Tamil language, for example. Maybe I know grammar. Many people don't know grammar, I think, Tamil, Urdu, whatever it is.
Right.
But the point is, we can go now and study grammar just to understand our language structure.
Identify the parts of speech.
And the parts, oh, this is why we are doing it, whatever. But then Arabic, unfortunately, because we don't have, immersion, or, there's a lot of argument about learning Arabic, whether to start speaking or get immersion and whatever. So that will be it's a long discussion.
Right.
But the point is, we want to learn grammar. When I say grammar, I don't mean dry learning of grammar, because that's not our approach. It should be known in a very smooth way, like in a contextual approach. But the point is, we want to use it to enter into the language understanding. The world of Arabic, we want to use grammar kind of a gateway to enter.
Right.
But for them, no, it is not a gateway. It is already there inside. So this is like some additional lights for them to like shine.
Right, right, right.
So that's the
So
clear.
that's interesting. Yeah. So inshallah, I think this should give people a heads up of what to expect and like what they can come out with from the program, inshallah. So Jazakumullah khair, Doctor, for answering our